This is my first mushroom walk of the autumn 2025 season, and from what I've been hearing from everybody, it is going to be a bumper season. I haven't had much chance to get out and look yet, but it has been raining for like 2 weeks in the south of the UK. I am 2 days post festival, so I'm pretty tired. I've just come back from the All Things Fungi Festival in Sussex and it was so good. Yeah, 11 out of 10. Definitely recommend everyone to go there if you get the chance next September. Right now the weather can't make its mind up, and 1 minute it's cloudy and about to rain and the next minute it is sunny. So I apologise in advance for the weird variations in lighting. Before I embark onto my grand mushroom mission, just a quick ad break. You don't mind, do you? So I've partnered up with Wild again. They are an eco-conscious, sustainable and vegan cosmetics brand. They do refillable deodorants, which is what I have here. This is the new Cath Kidston Ditzy Marble design, which is a cute little floral design. And they also do refillable lip balms and body wash. I've been using aluminium-free, natural-based deodorants for at least 7 years now, and I'd been with the same brand for about 5 years until I tried this. This is definitely my new favourite. I've been using Wild for 2 or 3 months now, I think, and the best thing about it for me is that the scent and the freshness lasts for ages. I haven't once experienced any skin irritation, which is amazing. Even after shaving and putting this on, I've had no issues. And if you are a very sensitive individual, then they do offer the deodorant refills in a sensitive version as well. And they have also brought out the new roll-ons, so if you prefer that kind of consistency, then there's that option. And there is plenty of case designs and different scents to choose from depending on your taste. If you're after a less feminine taste, then they have got some options for that. So to wrap things up, if you're starting to lose hope in natural deodorants like I was, then just give this one a try, because I can guarantee that you won't be disappointed. They've just brought out a new scent, which is Wildflower Bloom, and it's got jasmine in it, and it is hands down my new favourite, so definitely try that one. I have got a 20% off discount code for a limited time, so I will put that on the screen, and there's also the QR code for you as well. Thanks for listening, back to the mushrooms. Right, 2 minutes into the walk already, we've got some false chanterelle. So if you were to compare these to your typical yellow, very delicious chanterelle, the Cantharellus cibarius, these have gills, like true gills. The chanterelle do not. They have like wrinkly, forking veins, and these have very close, crowded true gills as well. And they are somewhat decurrent, so they come down the stipe a bit, and that goes for chanterelle as well. But like I said, they don't have true, like, separate gills. They just have the wrinkly folds. And these false chanterelle are a lot thinner fleshed and a lot more flimsy. True chanterelles are quite chunky and firm, and that's why everyone loves them so much, because they have a really nice, firm, crunchy bite. And false chanterelle favour conifers, so they are growing all around this lovely big Scots pine tree here. I think it's a Scots pine tree. Yeah. True chanterelles of various species also grow around pine plantations, but they also like silver birch and oak, and also beech as well, I think. I just instantly clocked some more orange mushrooms, because isn't orange just such a spectacular colour? And these ones are really young, spectacular rustgills, and that is actually their common name, spectacular rustgill. And I think it's simply because of how big and stunning they grow up to be. So these can grow, you know, like this big, the caps, and they grow in clustered groups like this. So these will come up really big, and you'll just see all these huge orange caps together, and they just look amazing. I'm going to leave them alone because they've got some more growing to do. I am now amongst oak and silver birch woodland, and there is quite a lot of these clay peachy coloured russulas. I've never picked ones to eat of this colour before, so let's do the spit test. If you're new to mushroom foraging, then you should not be doing the spit test until you are absolutely certain that you can identify a Russula. Because given the fact that most of them have white or creamy gills, this means that they could be confused with amanitas, and there are some poisonous amanitas that you don't want to be eating. So make sure you know your Russulas very well before you go tasting them. Key identifier for the Russulas, or brittle gills, is that they have very brittle gills, which come away very easily like flaked almonds, with the exception, I think, of the charcoal burner, which is one of the best, if not the best, edible russulas, and its gills aren't so delicate like this. So dry. So there's no hot, acrid spiciness. Just tastes nice and mushroomy. So you just want to chew it like on the tip of your tongue for a minute or two to be sure, and then spit it out. And if you're incapable of spitting things out properly and you just spray it all over yourself and you've still got it in your mouth, then rinse your mouth out with water. Yeah, so I think I said it already, but I'm gonna say it again. The spit test should be only done with russulas, though some foragers and very experienced people do taste other species of mushroom, but that's because they know absolutely what species they have. We've got some baby beefsteak. I'm always so happy to see the beefsteak fungus. It is growing out of this long gone dead oak tree, and that's because it's saprobic. So saprobic fungi feed off of and break down dead or dying organic matter. And I think the beefsteak is also mildly parasitic as well. So parasitic fungi will attack living trees. This one's definitely too young to harvest. There's not much there, as you can see, and the texture hasn't quite developed yet, so I'll be leaving it. So there's quite a lot of beefsteak around here because this is an old oak forest, but I've just spotted some exceptionally beaut ones in here. There they are. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know what happened there. My excitement turned me into an old man for a second. Look at that juice running off. It's because all the red liquid has pooled into the crevices there. I might cut one of these out because I've only harvested one beefsteak so far this season. So in my last mushroom video before this one, I talked about beefsteak then, but just to summarise, this is one of the easiest mushrooms to forage because it has such a distinct appearance. It does not have any immediate lookalikes. I mean, sure, some other bracket-shaped fungi can look similar, but they will be very hard. These are soft and squishy. As you can see, it does not have gills. It has tiny, tiny little pores. And yes, it does bleed red liquid. I can't tell you what the red liquid is made of. That is above my educational level, but I'm guessing it's something to do with the red pigment of the mushroom mixed in with the moisture, and I'm sure there's some other things going on. And personally, I just like to make this into a mushroom jerky. I don't know what other people would cook this into, but you can just cook it like any other mushroom. But yeah, I just like to make it into a chewy snack. I'm so excited. I've just spotted my first porcini of the season, and I haven't had a good porcini harvest in like 2 years. So this was looking to be the year, and it is looking good. Whoa. That is a fecking prime specimen. My god. No bug holes, though I don't know what's inside the stipe. But yeah, that is a delicious looking chonker, if I do say so myself. This is definitely Boletes edulis because it's got that distinctive white rim around the edge of the cap. And it's quite damp, but you can see at the very top there, the white reticulation showing up against the tan background. And there's more! Oh, I'm gonna piss my pants with excitement. Look at them. Oh my god, it just keeps getting better. Look at that. Can you see that red thing in the distance? The most famous one of them all, the fly agaric, Amanita muscaria. Yes, I do collect these for medicinal purposes, so they can work topically as pain relief. So topically meaning on the skin, not ingested. You can make them into an oil. Lots of people use these for chronic pain, and sciatica and things like that. And when prepared correctly, it can be taken internally in the micro D form. Can't really say too much on that because YouTube won't like it. But yeah, it can work in different ways. So in one form of extract, it can be stimulating, and in a different form of extract, it can be relaxing and good for anxiety and sleep, etc. So now I'm following a little stream, and it's surrounded by birch and pine. And down here, we've got a little amanita. Right next to it is a bolete, I think. These are a pretty good alternative to porcini in terms of taste. They're not as firm, they're not as big and fleshy, but they are a good edible. Boletes have this bluey grey staining in the pores, and the pores are fairly big. You can see the little holes there, whereas on the porcini you don't see the holes so much. Oh my sweet lord, I keep putting the camera away and having to keep getting it back out again. There is an absolute monster in there. Oh, it feels like it might have bugs in it. It feels a bit hollow. It's not actually too bad, you know. I've ripped it open and it's got a few buggy holes, but it's not too deteriorated actually. Like, this would be a good one to dehydrate and then keep in your dried supply and use as a stock and stuff. So I might do that with this. My camera's gonna die and my phone's gonna die, and as you can tell, it's getting dark. But I've made some great finds today. I've got some more porcini, and right next to them were these, the summer seps. But there's something even more fucking exciting. So literally growing next to all of these were these ones down here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think these could actually be the bronze bolete, I think it is. Yeah, I was fumbling around collecting those ones over there, and I swear to God, these were right next to them. The stipe is a very bronzy brown, and the cap is a much darker brown than the porcini. It's a very matte bronzy brown colour. Right, I really need to skedaddle back to the car now. So I will come here again and I will carry on the walk from like this spot. Look at this one that I just found on the way back to the car. I had to get my camera out again to show you, because this is the biggest and nicest condition one that I found today. Look at those monsters. Wow. Not everyone knows this, but there is a little mushroom that is an indicator species for porcini, and it is actually down here. So this is a very small example of the Miller mushroom. You will usually find a few of them growing together. They have a very distinct mealy, or sometimes described as spermatic, kind of smell. And they are edible themselves, but they do have some very dangerous lookalikes, so not advisable for beginners. But if you do spot a group of millers, give them a smell and see if they smell like a flowery type, spermy kind of smell, and then have a good look around, because you may spot some porcini. And lo and behold, I'm pretty sure I can see some just over there. There's literally a line of small Miller mushrooms going over to there, and I think that's where the porcini are. They are not looking good though, actually. There's one definitely past its best. And there is another absolute monster that is definitely past its best. Right, I need to calm down. There are so many different things growing in this specific area. I've got a handful of different species here. I need to go and find somewhere to put them down and talk about them. But I just cannot believe me fucking eyes. My God. I don't know why it's missing half the cap. Something might have bitten it when it was small and it's just grown up like this. It's nice and firm still, so I'm just going to trim off that edge and keep the rest of this. And you should be able to see the much paler reticulation on the stipe of the porcini here, especially at the top. This wonderful specimen is a blusher. Even without cutting or marking it, you can see the blushing here at the very base of the stipe, and if you were to cut it open and give it a squeeze, then you would also see some blushing bruising then as well. And another key feature of the blusher is the striated skirt. So I've kind of messed up the veil by handling it because it's still attached to the cap and it hasn't quite opened properly yet. But if the skirt was intact around the stipe here, then you would see the striations that go down it. The blusher is considered a good edible by some. Can't comment, I haven't tried it. Maybe I'll try this one because it is a very nice looking one. So yeah, this might be my first time trying it. But it's not one for beginners because it's in the Amanita family, which has some poisonous members, and it also needs to be cooked extra well. And this funky coloured one is a Scarletina bolete, which is actually a decent edible, and the cap starts off a bit downy and then goes smooth, as you can see here. It doesn't have reticulation on the stipe like the Porcini does, but instead it has lots of tiny little dots that are stippled all over. It bruises a very dark blue-black, so that should be enough to put off most people, and especially beginners. Because if you didn't know, the rule for beginner mushroom foragers is that if the bolete has any red or any blue on it, then you should definitely avoid. Even though some of the perfectly good edibles do have red or blue on them, or even both. But yeah, it's just a good rule to follow if you're new, because the coloured ones definitely require advanced identification. I've just found these rather large Lexinum species. Now I am in a strictly oak forest right now, so these are probably the orange oak bolete. Okay, there's loads more around here. Look at them all. They're quite well camouflaged amongst the leaves actually, but there's another good 10 over here. And I've got a lovely couple down here who want to show off their features because they're slightly less gross than the other two. This one especially has got that lovely brick orange or brick red colour in the cap. The orange birch boletes have dark brown, almost black looking scabers, and the orange oak boletes have more reddish brown scabers on them. Honestly, the boletes are having an absolute mad time this year. There are so many of these, I just picked a few nice ones here, but I swear to God there is a good 30 just around me. Yay, I knew there'd be cauliflower fungus around here somewhere because I found it here a few years ago. So there's 2 or 3 species of cauliflower fungus in the UK. Spiracis crispa is one, and that's the more frillier formation. This one looks like one of the other ones, Spiracis brevipes or spatulata or something like that. Its fronds are much more upright and straight as opposed to like curly and frilly and more closely packed. But all of them are good edibles and they are easy to identify. They don't have any immediate lookalikes. Only annoying thing is they're a bit difficult to clean because they've got so many folds, but I just shred them up and give them a good rinse and it's fine. Not too far away at all from that cauliflower fungus was these lovely fly agaric Amanita muscaria mushrooms, but they are mostly lacking their spots, but those spots are just little fragments of the veil. You'll have the best luck finding these if you look around the outskirts of pine plantations, because quite often there will be silver birch planted around, and these are a mycorrhizal fungus and they have a symbiotic relationship with birch. So just have a look through the bushes and the bracken amongst the silver birch and you'll more than likely find some. I think that will do, you know. I've been out here for hours and this is the second day of me being out as well. So yeah, as I've shown you, there is fucking loads of mushrooms out there. So go get them. Don't pick all of them though, because that's rude and selfish. We're due some more rain soon, so after that I will do another vlog and document some more species. As always, thank you for watching. Bye bye.